ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ನಮ್ಮ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು. ನಮ್ಮ ಟೀಮ್ ಆರ್‌ಸಿಬಿನಿಂದ ನಾನು ಆರ್ಥರ್, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಶೋ ದಿ ಬೋಲ್ಡ್ ಟಾಕ್ಸ್ ಪಾಡ್ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಎಪಿಸೋಡ್ 4. Today we will be discussing upon pre-match between UP Warriors and RCB women's team. I'm joined by none other than Rishabh, who will be hosting today's session, and the lovely sweet Akansha.
Namaskara, Bengaluru fans. Always a pleasure to be talking about RCB and let's talk about the build up to the next game. That is our final home game as well. The support for these four games at the Chinnaswamy has been absolutely incredible. It's been a brilliant atmosphere at the stadium, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be the same not just for the final game in Bangalore but also for the Delhi leg. And on that note, let us begin this discussion about what RCB needs to do to bounce back against UP Warriors and end the Bangalore leg on a high to carry that momentum to Delhi. All right.
Akansha, your introduction.
ಸೊ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು. ಇದು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಚು. ಎಲ್ರೂ ತುಂಬಾ ಎಕ್ಸೈಟೆಡ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀವಿ. 2 ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸೋತಿದೀವಿ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂಚೂರು ಟೆನ್ಷನ್ ಇದೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ UP ಅವರು ಅವ್ರ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ 2 ಮ್ಯಾಚಸ್ ನ ಕನ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿ ವಿನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಅವ್ರಿಗೂ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಮೊಮೆಂಟಮ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಇದು ತುಂಬಾ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಕಮ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ, ಅವ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಗೆಲ್ಲಕ್ಕೆ. ಸೊ ಡೆಲ್ಲಿ ಲೆಗಿಗೆ ಹೋಗೋಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ನಮಗೂ ಒಂಚೂರು ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ವಾಪಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ನಮಗೆ ಮೊಮೆಂಟಮ್, ಒಂದು ವಿನ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಮೊಮೆಂಟಮ್ ಜೊತೆ ಮೂವ್ ಆನ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಬೆಟರ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಟೀಮ್. ಸೊ
All right, Akanksha, picking from what you told, UP Warriors last 2 matches continuously they have won and they've beaten big teams like Mumbai and Gujarat. We lost to Mumbai, right? So how big of a game do you think is this against a side that is on momentum, winning 2 games against 2 quality sides?
I think they have like a really strong momentum right now because ನಮ್ ಸ್ಕೋರ್ ಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಬಟ್ ನಾವು ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಅವ್ರ ರನ್ ರೇಟ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ನಮ್ಗಿಂತ ತುಂಬಾ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ವರ್ಕ್ ಆನ್ ದಟ್. ಸೊ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅನ್ ಎಡ್ಜ್ ಓವರ್ ಅಸ್ ದಟ್ ವೇ ಆಸ್ ವೆಲ್. ಮತ್ತೆ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ನನ್ನ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಒಂದು ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಟೀಮ್ ಇದೆ. ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಬೌಲಿಂಗು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ, ಬ್ಯಾಟಿಂಗು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ. ಅವರು ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಪೋಸಿಟ್ ಟೀಮ್ ನ 142 ರೆಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಬರೀ 15.4 ಓವರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಸೊ ಓವರ್ ಆಲ್ ದೇವ್ ಬಿನ್ ಪ್ಲೇಯಿಂಗ್ ರಿಯಲಿ ಗುಡ್ ಕ್ರಿಕೆಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ದ ಮೊಮೆಂಟಮ್. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ವೆರಿ ನೆಸೆಸರಿ ಫಾರ್ ಅಸ್ to win against them so that we also feel confident that okay, we've won against a team that's been playing really well. ಮತ್ತೆ ನಮಗೆ ಒಂಚೂರು ಟಫ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಅವರು ತುಂಬಾ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ ಟೀಮ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಬಕಲ್ ಅಪ್ ಅಂಡ್ ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಸ್ಟೇ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಪ್ಲೇ ದ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್.
Right, Arthur, coming to you, what do you think would be the talk in the RCB camp right now? 2 games they've lost on the trot after having a good start, winning a couple of games, and now, like Akanksha mentioned, a tough challenge against the UP Warriors. What do you think would be the talk in the RCB dressing room right now?
Firstly, RCB has already played UP Warriors in their first home game this season, and they won the game. I think RCB scored a 157, and they restricted UP to 155, thanks to the 17th over spell by 17th over of Asha Shobna, where she got 3 wickets and just gave 2 runs. So yeah, they have to think that we have beaten them. We have done it in the past this season. We can do it again. But at the same time, the talk wouldn't be so positive because it's the first match. It's already behind. And they have lost 2 on the bounce. And the last match, it wasn't a close match. They were thrashed. Every department lacked. Like we talked in our post-match, there is no positive whatsoever to take from that match. So the talk will be mostly like, girls, let's just like calm down, reset. This is our last home game, so like let's try to win this one and move to Delhi, because if we lose this one, then UP are the one who are challenging us for 3rd spot. Then it's gonna be tough to get the 3rd spot. And also there will be some talk regarding probably changing the playing 11, but I think that will be mostly once they move to Delhi. Yeah.
Right, we'll get to that in a bit, but Akanksha, UP Warriors team ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ ಲೈಕ್ ಯು ಮೆನ್ಷನ್. ಸೊ ಹೂ ಡು ಯು ಥಿಂಕ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಪ್ಲೇಯರ್ಸ್ ಟು ವಾಚ್ ಔಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಟ್? ನಾವು ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಆ ಪ್ಲೇಯರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಆ ಟೀಮಲ್ಲಿ.
ಬ್ಯಾಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಕ್ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ನೋಡಿದ್ವಿ, ಗ್ರೇಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾರಿಸ್ ಅವರು ತುಂಬಾ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮೆನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
ರೈಟ್.
ಅದ್ರ ಜೊತೆ ಅವ್ರ ಕ್ಯಾಪ್ಟನ್ ಅಲೀಸ್ ಹೇಳಿ, ಐ ಆಮ್ ಸಾರಿ ಇಫ್ ಐ ಪ್ರೊನೌನ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ರಾಂಗ್, ಬಟ್ ಅವರು ತುಂಬಾ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮೆನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಬೌಲಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಕ್ ಹೋದ್ರೇನು ಎಸ್ ಎಲ್ ಸ್ಟೋನ್ ಟುಕ್ 3 ವಿಕೆಟ್ಸ್, ಮತ್ತೆ ಅವ್ರ ಎಕಾನಮಿನೂ ತುಂಬಾ ಕಡಿಮೆ 5 ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
ರೈಟ್ ರೈಟ್
ಅಟ್ಟುಪಟ್ಟು ವಿಕೆಟ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿಲ್ಲ, ಆದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರ ಎಕಾನಮಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇತ್ತು. 4.7 T20 ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ತುಂಬಾ ಕಷ್ಟ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನೋಡಕ್ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ ಪ್ಲೇಯರ್ಸ್ ಇದಾರೆ, ಎಲ್ರು ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಓವರ್ ಆಲ್ ಒಂದ್ ಟೀಮ್ ತರಾನು ನೋಡಕ್ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಎಲ್ರು ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಆನ್ ದ ಶೋಲ್ಡರ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಗಿವನ್ 3-4 ಬಿಗ್ ನೇಮ್ಸ್.
Definitely. Looking at RCB in the previous game, I think Elise Perry and Sophie Molyneux and even Georgia Wareham to an extent were some of the standout players. So, Arthur, coming to you, who do you think or who do you expect to step up in this game against UP Warriors? Who, apart from Smriti Mandana, do you think can come up and lift this RCB side that desperately needs a win?
Frankly, it's a team sport. Everyone needs to stand up. Every individual needs to take accountability, irrespective of your batting, bowling. Every ball you bowl, every ball you bat, you have to take accountability. It's just that someday someone will stand up more, someday someone will stand up less. But we shouldn't rely on one or two individuals. Always the fact we have an inexperienced side, inexperienced batting lineup, that is. But I guess we shouldn't be thinking like, okay, these are the 5 players we have to rely on. If they don't, then we are just no. Everyone, it doesn't matter if you're Ellis Perry, Spriti Mandhana, or Asha. Everyone needs to take accountability. Everyone needs to stand up. Even if you don't get a wicket, okay, contribute to the economy like Atabattu did. Contribute to the economy. Okay, you can't score boundaries, rotate the strike, put the pressure, take harder runs. So take accountability, try to play your best game, and stick to basics that they lacked against Delhi.
Exactly. So, Akanksha, UP Warriors ಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಡಿದಾಗ ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಅ ವೆರಿ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಗೇಮ್, ಬಟ್ ವಿ ಕೇಮ್ ಔಟ್ ಆನ್ ಟಾಪ್. ವಿ ಒನ್ ದಟ್ ಗೇಮ್ ಲೈಕ್ ವಿ ಸ್ಪೋಕ್. ಸೊ ಬಟ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಸಿಚುವೇಶನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ UP 2 ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್.
I couldn't hear you. I think there was a network issue. Could you repeat your question?
ಯಾ, ಸೊ ನಾನು ಏನ್ ಹೇಳಿದಂದ್ರೆ UP ವಾರಿಯರ್ಸ್ ನ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಬೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ದಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಅ ವೆರಿ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಗೇಮ್. ಬಟ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಸಿಚುವೇಶನ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅವರು 2 ಮ್ಯಾಚಸ್ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಗೆದ್ದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ do you think beating them in our first game will still be like a momentum that ಈ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಕ್ಯಾರಿ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, considering that we have beaten them before? So ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ಮತ್ತೆ ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು.
Andre, I think it is very important for us to continue with a positive momentum because of course ನಾವು ಅವ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಗೆಲ್ಲಿದೀವಿ, ಅದನ್ನ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿ ತಗೊಂಡು ಅದನ್ನೇ ಮೊಮೆಂಟಮ್ ಆಗಿ ತಗೊಂಡು ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಬಿಲ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ ಆಗಿ ಆಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಬಟ್ ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಆತರ ರಿಲೈ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಅವ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಗೆದ್ದಿದೀವಿ, ಈ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಆರಾಮಾಗಿ ಗೆಲ್ಬಹುದು. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ನಾವು ನೋಡಕ್ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ತುಂಬಾ ನೇಲ್ ಬೈಟಿಂಗ್ ಟಿಪಿಕಲ್ RCB ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಇತ್ತದು. ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಬಾಲ್ ಬಂದು ನಾವು ಗೆದ್ದಿದ್ದು. ಮತ್ತೆ ಅರ್ಥೂರ್ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿರೋ ಪ್ರಕಾರ 17th ಓವರ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಕ್ರೂಷಿಯಲ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ಆ ಓವರ್ ಆಗ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಆದ್ರೆ ಆ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ನಾವು ವಿ ವುಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ದಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ as well. So I think we should take it as a positive, but we shouldn't let it get into our heads because ಅವರು 2 ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಗೆದ್ದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ನಾವು 2 ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಸೋತಿದೀವಿ. ಅವ್ರು ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ ಟೀಮ್ಸ್ ಮುಂದೆ ಗೆದ್ದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಟೀಮ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಅದರ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಅವ್ರ ಟೀಮ್ ಅನ್ನು ಅನಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಅವ್ರ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಷನ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ನಮಗೆ, ನಾವು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಫೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಬಿಲೀವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ.
Right. So, Arthur, coming back to you, if you look at the performances so far, do you think RCB has been heavily reliant on their all-rounders like Ellis Perry or Sophie Malinho or Georgia Wareham. Do you think this dependence on the all-rounders is affecting the balance of the team?
Absolutely, absolutely. They are completely dependent on the four overseas all-rounders that they're playing. Sophie Devine hasn't played that well this season, at least with the bat. Ellis Perry, Georgia Wareham, and Sophie. They are very highly dependent on them. But although Mandhana played well in two matches, in one I think she scored 30, in another her maiden 70. Except for that, Renuka Singh Thakur played one match well in the power play where she got 2 wickets. Shobha Asha played well in the match against UP, but yeah, that's it. Everyone else has just stepped up in a match. Whereas the four overseas player, even when Andy Clark came in, she stepped up. So they're heavily reliant on the roosters, the foreign roosters that is coming into the picture. They are not very confident about the Indian players they are carrying. Maybe Meghna would be the dark horse for me, except for them. Ki, like, okay, at least she has been a consistent performer, except for the last match. So. And Richa Ghosh, at least she's good behind the stumps. So yeah, they're heavily dependent on certain individuals.
Definitely. So, while we are talking about the players and the teams, what can be done? ಆಕಾಂಕ್ಷ ನಿಮ್ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಈ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ಗೆ ಯು ಪಿ ವಾರಿಯರ್ಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಆಸ್ ಅ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಟಿಂಗ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಲಿ ಬೌಲಿಂಗ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಲಿ ವಾಟ್ ಬೆಟರ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ದ ಟೀಮ್ ಡೂ ವಾಟ್ ಡು ಯು ಥಿಂಕ್ ದಟ್ ಟೀಮ್ ಇನ್ನ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಸೊ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಗೆದ್ದಿ ಡೆಲ್ಲಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಕ್ಯಾರಿ ಮೊಮೆಂಟಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಗೋ
ಸೊ ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಈಗ ನಾವು ಮುಂಚೆನೂ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಮೇಘನಾ ಅವರು ಐದರ್ ಶಿ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ರಿಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ಸುಭಾಷ್ ಸತೀಶ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಒನ್ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಆರ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಸ್ಮೃತಿ ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ಬೋದು ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಒಂದ್ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ರೈಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಕಾಂಬಿನೇಷನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅವಾಗ ಅಂಡ್ ಡಿವೈನ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ ಗೋ one down and she can then like carry on from there. So if we like get a strong start in the opening and then we build on that, then Sophie Devine can also come in and add to that. There won't be as much pressure on her as well. And bowling allu nodidre Richa Ghosh, Shriyanka Patil, I mean down the order nodidrenu Richa Ghosh, Shriyanka Patil ಅವರೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಡೆಪ್ತ್ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಟೀಮ್ ಬ್ಯಾಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಬರೀ 3 ಪ್ಲೇಯರ್ನ ಆಡ್ಸಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ನಾವು ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ಲಿ RCB ನೋಡಿದ್ರೇನು ಬರೀ ವಿರಾಟ್ ಕೊಹ್ಲಿಗೆ ಲೆಬಿಡಿ ಆಡಿದ್ರೇನೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಡೆಪ್ತ್ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಟೀಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ರಿಚಾ ಘೋಷ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಶ್ರೇಯಾಂಕಾ ಪಾಟೀಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಗೆಟ್ ದಟ್ ಡೆಪ್ತ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ದ ಟೀಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದೇ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಲೈಕ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆನ್ ದಟ್. ಮತ್ತೆ ಪೆರಿ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರು 100% ಕೊಡಕ್, ಶಿ ವಾಸಂಟ್ ಅಟ್ ಹರ್ ಲೈಕ್ 100% ಬೆಸ್ಟ್, ಬಟ್ ಸ್ಟಿಲ್ ಶಿ ವಾಸ್ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮರ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರು ಇನ್ನ ರಿಕವರ್ ಆಗಿ ಅವರು ಇನ್ನ ಆಡ್ ಆನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಟೀಮ್ಗೆ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಬೌಲಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರೇಣುಕಾ, ಆಶಾ, ಸಿಮ್ರನ್ ಎವ್ರಿಬಡಿ ವೆಂಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸಿವ್. ಸೊ ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ದೇ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಲೈಕ್ ಬೋಲ್ ಟೈಟ್ ಟು ದ ಲೈನ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಪಿಕ್ ಅರ್ಲಿ ವಿಕೆಟ್ಸ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಅದ್ ಒಂದ್ಸತಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಮೊಮೆಂಟಮ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅವ್ರು ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ ಟೀಮ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಪವರ್ ಪ್ಲೇ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ರಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಷ್ಟಾಗುತ್ತೋ ಅಷ್ಟು ಪವರ್ ಪ್ಲೇ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಗೆಟ್ like 2-3 early wickets in the power play, that would be great. Nothing better than that. And I think it needs to be an overall effort. Again, the last match we didn't given as many extras, but previously if we see there was like a lot of extras and misfields. So ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆನೂ ಇನ್ನ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಓವರ್ ಆಲ್ ಟೀಮ್ ಎಫರ್ಟ್ ಬಿಲ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಈ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ನ ಗೆಲ್ಲಕ್ ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು.
That's a very interesting point that you bring in about the lower order not performing. So I'll come to you, Arthur, on that. Richa Ghosh, Shriyanka Patil, all of these guys, we know they have the ability to tonk it big and get those boundaries, but they haven't. Richa Ghosh bearing one innings, I don't think they haven't been performing that well. So how important is it for the lower order really to perform and give the team a good finish? Because UP Warriors particularly have a very strong spin attack. So they are very capable of restricting our batting like they did against Gujarat in their previous game as well. So how important do you think is it for the lower order, the likes of Richa Ghosh and Shriyanka Patil down the order to really step up?
Oh, Rishabh, definitely. Like when you have an 11, all like I was saying, all the 11 need to step up, and the job of the lower order itself is to sail you through the target or to sail you to a decent score in the first innings. But if you don't have if your lower order isn't being consistent or playing well, it's just like you're handicapped. You can lay a good foundation, but that 140 won't be converted into a 180, 190, or 130 into 170. If you are handicapped, you will struggle. And I guess that's what happened in against Delhi. Delhi was 70 for 1 in the last 4 overs, batting first. Because, like I said, batting first, big deal in Chinnaswamy in this WPL. But whereas RCB, 30 runs, 7 wickets. Pressure was there,
Right.
yes. But you have to always keep the run rate in mind also. And I guess they, more than saying out of form, I would say they haven't really had that, you know, still haven't grasped the big stage opportunity. I guess that pressure is getting to them. Like some senior player
True.
needs to sit to them and tell them, ki, like, no pressure, it's all right. Because again, and again, another thing I think, like everyone, Sri Lanka and Richa against Delhi, they were just trying to tonk it. Like, okay, we have like a huge run rate, we'll just try to tonk it rather than just like converting the ones to twos. So I guess number one, they need confidence boost, and already they haven't had a great season, so again it has probably gotten worse. Number two, do nothing but stick to the basics, irrespective of how bad, even when someone like Virat Kohli is in bad or out of form, what would they do? They would go back to the basics, they would stick to the
Basics.
basics. So I
Right.
guess sticking to the basic is the most important thing for them.
Okay.
Yeah, I
So
think I totally agree with Arthur. Now, last season alone, nodidre, we didn't have a really good start, and then we had a whole pep talk from Virat Kohli, and then
Hmm.
the games got better for
yeah.
us. So I think we need to get Virat Kohli back, give them a pep talk, so we can keep winning.
Yeah.
Get him earlier in the game, and give them a pep talk, and we keep on winning because. Yeah, I really want them to win, and they do need a confidence boost, especially after losing two matches. I mean, fans support ಯಾವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಇದ್ರೆ ಗೆದ್ರೇನು ಸೋತ್ರೇನು, ಬಟ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಮಾರಲ್ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ವೆರಿ ನೆಸೆಸರಿ ಫಾರ್ ಅನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ಲೇಯರ್ ಟು ಕಮ್ ಇನ್ ಅಂಡ್ give them a little bit more guidance, I believe.
So I'd like
Yes.
to throw this question up to both of you. What do
Hmm.
you think would be ideal for RCB to do? Let's say they win the toss tomorrow. What do you think would be an ideal thing to do? Should we bat first? Should we bowl first? And why?
I would
Definitely.
stick to bowling first because now
Definitely.
oh, continue.
Yeah, definitely. If we win the toss, bowl first, because except for 2 games in the Chinnaswamy is a chasing friendly ground, and batting first has been very tricky this season. So yeah, bat first and sorry, bowl first, and automatically, restrict them to a 150, because that's like a decent score for the first innings. But that's a pretty easily chaseable score in the second innings, because the ball automatically comes onto the bat. In the first innings, the ball
Better
is
on the
not
bat.
coming to the
Right.
bat; it's sticking to the surface.
True.
So I guess yeah, when if we win the toss, bowl first, restrict them to 150, 160 is a decent, like max. 130 would be ideal, and then try to chase it down in 15, 16 overs if it's 130, because we are at a stage where we have to not just think about the win but also the run rate. Over to you,
True.
Akansha.
ಸೊ ನನ್ನ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ನಾವು ಟಾಸ್ ಗೆಲ್ಲೋದು ತುಂಬಾ ಮುಖ್ಯ. ನಾವು ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ನೋಡಿದ್ವಿ, ಲೈಕ್ ವಿನ್ನಿಂಗ್ ದ ಟಾಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಲಿಟ್ರಲಿ, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ವಿನ್ನಿಂಗ್ ದ ಟಾಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ವಿನ್ ದ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಅಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್. ಮತ್ತೆ ಚಿನ್ನಸ್ವಾಮಿ ನೋಡಕ್ ಹೋದ್ರೆ, ಚಿನ್ನಸ್ವಾಮಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಚೇಸರ್ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಲಿ ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್. ಅರ್ಥೂರ್ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿರೋ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಹೆವೆನ್ ಫಾರ್ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ಸ್ಮನ್. ಅಂಡ್ ಇಫ್ ವಿ ವಿನ್ ದ ಟಾಸ್ ವಿ ಶುಡ್ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ಬೋಲ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಚೇಸ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಪಿಚ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೇನು ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಇನ್ನಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪಿಚ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಡ್ಯೂ ಇದೆ, ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಕೋರ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ತುಂಬಾ ಈಸಿ ಇದೆ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಟು ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ನಿಂಗ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಐ ಬಿಲೀವ್ ನಾವು ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ನಾವು ಟಾಸ್ ಗೆದ್ದಿ ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು.
Right. So, as we look to conclude, I would just like to know a bit about what changes do you think we can make. If you look at our bench, Nadine de Klerk, Indrani Roy, Subhash Satish, SB Pokhrar, Disha Kassat, Kate Cross, and of course Ekta Best. So first, Arthur, coming to you, what do you think? Should we continue with the same 11, or you would like to see any changes for tomorrow?
I would have definitely loved to see changes, but we also have to keep in mind this is the last match of the Bangalore leg, and we will be moving to the Delhi leg soon, so changes will be made then. So it's a very tricky question because this 11 is set. They have played on the pitch, they know the pitch. So it becomes a dilemma ki, like, should we stick to the same 11? Should we make a change? Ekta Bish definitely comes in for me when we move to Delhi. But I would just suggest ki, like, Andy Clark instead of Wareham or Molinix, because they are the same profile as Asha. So having three players of same profile does not do good. So I think I would like to bring in Andy Clark instead of Sophie Molio or Wareham, at least for this match.
Akanksha, your 11?
True. I mean, I would agree to Arthur on that, that we can get Andy Clark instead of Sophie or Georgia Wareham. I would say instead of Georgia Wareham, because again, Georgia Wareham and Asha have like a very similar profile, so it doesn't really make sense to have two players of the same profile. And I would keep Asha because, like, in the last match against Delhi, the 17th over, that was very crucial, her over. So I think our team and Lidodu would be better instead of Georgia, and we can get in her. I think we can also try experimenting with Kate Cross if that's what we're going for as a team right now, because keeping the same 11, I don't know if that's like suggested, because like ಸೇಮ್ ಲೆವೆನ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಸ್ಟೆಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಟೀಮಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಾವು ಬೇರೆ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ನ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದನ್ನ ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು ಹೌ ಆಲ್ ದಟ್ ವರ್ಕ್. ಸೊ ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮೈ ಪ್ಲೇಯಿಂಗ್ 11 ಫಾರ್ RCB ವುಡ್ ಬಿ ಸ್ಮೃತಿ, ಆಫ್ ಕೋರ್ಸ್, ಡಿವೈನ್, either Meghna or Subha Satish. I would say go for Subha Satish. And Clerk, Elise Perry, Richa, Georgia, or again Clerk, or Shriyanka, Simran, Renuka, and I would say we can try playing Ekta Bhist for this one last match, because I mean, as he said, of course, Ekta Bhist would be amazing for the Delhi phase, but I think the team right now needs a little bit, more of experience. So I think Ekta Bhist will come in handy there, and this being the last match in the RCB, I mean, in the Bangalore leg, they would want to win it, to carry a positive momentum ahead to Delhi as well. So I think, yeah, that would be my 11.
If you
Firstly,
personally ask,
Akansha, the 17th over that Asha bowled was against UP and not Delhi. And secondly, Chinnaswamy is heaven for batting, but it's hell for batting if you're batting first in WPL. So yes.
I mean, yeah, it's a chasing friendly ground. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
if
Yes,
you
sure.
ask me, personally, there is one change that I would like to see instead of Meghna. I would like to see Disha Kassat, because if you look at the videos that the team had been putting out pre-season, she's been timing the ball really well. She comes off as a very clean and a powerful hitter, striker of the ball. So I think she can bring in that balance, and a boost that we need in the batting. Meghna has been scoring runs, but then again, the strike rate is something that is a concern. So I think that's the one change that I would like to see, if they can try out Disha Kassat, before moving to the Delhi leg.
Why would you want uh, to replace Meghna? I guess in this unstable team, Meghna has been, irrespective of her strike rate, she has been stable. She has been giving you runs, and this team needs stability, someone to build around. And I guess rather than Mandhana, Meghna has become that figure. Like, I think like the playing 11 stays the same, but something I would like to experiment is send Mandhana and Meghna for opening. I've been saying this for the past three podcasts. They can lay the foundation in the first 6-8 overs. Then a Sophie Devine, Ellis Perry, Georgia Wareham, they can do the work. But I guess Meghna is more suited for the opening than number three, and Divine is not clicking. So let her come at three, or maybe even consider dropping her and trying Andy Clark. No harm in that. All because we have seen the same pattern with UP. Navgire wasn't performing when she was batting
Right.
down the order. She got promoted in the last two matches, and boy, is she playing well. She knows what to do. So I
Definitely.
guess yes, a change in batting order is required, not necessary 11 at least moving into the next match. So there are two fan questions from Prashant BC. What do you guys think about matchups? Shriyanka's had been Yastika's nightmare in domestics when it was Baroda versus Karnataka. We didn't see Shriyanka yesterday, or can't Shriyanka approach the cap? Rishabh?
Yeah, I definitely think that is going to be an interesting matchup. When it comes to these kind of games, also matchups do play a crucial role more than on the field. In the mind, the matchups play a really crucial role. So if Shreyanka has been Yastika's nightmare in domestics, when she does come into bat, why not we can have a bit of spin from Shreyanka in the power play, so that could also put them on the back foot, let's say. And if we can get
Hmm.
her early, because she did have a decent performance in the previous game as well. So I think that is definitely something that we can try, and we can make some changes in that bowling order as well.
Hmm. One last question before we close. It's again from Prashant BC. Disha Kasat has been phenomenal for Vidarbha, if I'm not wrong. Worked on a big hits in this 1 year. What's your take on this, Rishabh?
Like I already mentioned just a while ago, that
Yes.
if you look at the videos that have been coming out, it was very evident that she comes off as a clean hitter. And like Prashant has mentioned here, she's worked on her big hits as well. And she's been in good form if you look at her domestic coming into the WPL. So definitely, when someone like Meghana, I agree to the fact that she has been giving that stability, but you do need a certain boost after those power play overs, right? So definitely Disha Kassett is someone, like I already mentioned, who I would like to see in the 11 for this game.
Hmm. With that, we have come to an end of the Bold Talks podcast, episode number 4, the pre-matchup between UP Warriors and RCB. Thank you to everyone who has joined. Thank you, Rishabh. Thank you, Akansha, for being such a lovely host and a guest. And with that, we would end our live stream. Don't forget, Namma Team RCB.